Two. Hey there, hello, and welcome back on over to the My Hero Academia podcast. After a short hiatus, I wouldn't really call it a hiatus, it was more of a temporary, brief stint. We're back together to talk about episodes 93 and 94. How you doing today,
Yes,
Rising?
I'm good. Had fun on my vacation, seeing friends and doing fun stuff with them, and being given Oreos.
Being being given Oreos.
Yes, I have some very interesting friends. I'll put it that way.
Oh, that sounds great. I just heard a
Yes,
knock.
Oreos.
Just
Any person who gives me Oreos must automatically be a good person.
mm-hmm. All
But you
right.
know who else are good people?
Who else are good people?
The heroes in My Hero Academia.
Oh, you are
Yeah, I'm
absolutely
trying to do a
correct.
segue there.
That's a great
I don't know how well
segue.
it worked.
So it would
I'm
appear
I'm also still tired from my trip, so I might not be making sense tonight.
it's okay. We all don't make sense all the time, but that's
Exactly
okay.
that.
We have our second match of this arc. The first match went to Class
Yeah.
1A, and now we have a Class 1B and 1A different teams. Uh we have basically I can't remember most of the names on Class B, but it was Tokiyami, Momo. Who were the other ones? I can't really remember.
Invisible Girl
Invisible
and
Girl
the
and the
Twinkly guy.
the belly guy.
Yes.
he had
I
some
forget, like, half these
funny
names.
he had some funny screams this episode. Yeah.
I think he might be one of my, like, most underrated, like, favorite characters. Because like, he has such an interesting and fun personality.
Mhm. Yeah, he it just whenever that one guy grabbed him in the dark and dragged him through, he was just yeah, just screaming going through. I don't know why that was just so funny to me, but I loved it.
I mean, if someone, like, came out of the shadows and grabbed you, I think you'd probably scream too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, hello there, Bongo. I don't know
Yes,
much of
hello, Bongo Pix. Thank you
I
for stopping by.
I don't know much about anime, but I wanted to stop by and listen into your show. Well, thank you. I appreciate you, good sir. If you want to catch a really jam-packed show, catch us. I think it's tomorrow, actually, on my buddy C Tactics channel. We're gonna be celebrating our 100th episode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
congratulations on hitting that, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much. It's crazy to think that I've been doing this for. It was the fall season of 2018.
Oh,
So
wow. Yeah, you guys have been doing it for a long time.
yeah, and I thought it wasn't gonna. Well, I guess I'll talk more about it then. But anyway,
I
uh,
mean, what podcasts last for, like, 2 years like that?
right. No, I mean, and it's a rarity in itself. But basically, these past two episodes kind of, in a way, was like one whole episode because it was nothing but these two
Yeah.
teams going at it.
Yeah, they had, like, some, like, reflection on the previous episode at the start, which, I don't know, there wasn't too much there. It was interesting, like, as the character was reflecting on, like, what they had done wrong and how they could have done things better.
Yeah, yeah, I thought that was neat from the episode 93 where yeah, it felt like everybody was felt like they could do better, but then Kaminari was just like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah, turn the
Yeah.
butter." He was
Well,
the
like, and, like, how Kirishima was thinking, like, how being in an actual fight, going after those villains had affected him and thinking that if this was a real fight, he could have been killed here.
right, right. He really could have because that whole him being the I guess distraction was more of an accident anyway than it was a legitimate like that's what he was gonna do. But
Yeah. Well, no, like, because I thought Kirishima was knocked out earlier.
oh, sorry. No,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
hardened guy.
It's the other K, Kaminari, Kirishima.
Yeah,
I
Kaminari.
sorry, my bad. I mistook it. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, Kirishima like went down right away and was
Yeah.
just a non-factor.
Yeah, and, like, despite being so strong, it's like how easily if you catch him off guard, he can't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just so crazy.
Yeah, it is interesting, is like seeing all the different quirks and how they are used against each other, and like how you can counter someone really strong with a weaker one if you do it right and figure out their weaknesses.
Hmm. Can we talk about how awesome Tokiyami is?
Yes, Tokiyami is great.
He learned a brand new technique where it was called, I forgot exactly what it's called. It's like dark fallen angel. That's what it
Yes, that's
was.
it.
And it's basically just gives him the ability to fly, which I find kind of ironic because he's a bird. And
Yeah, and like he can't fly naturally, but like with this, he could.
yeah, with this, he was able to fly using his dark spirit.
Yeah,
And that was really really neat. He was just awesome. He had these thermal goggles. I was rooting for him the whole episode up until he choked on a mushroom.
hey, you have to look out for those mushrooms; they can be deadly and stuff.
Which, talking about that, I thought I so didn't know how this person's character was going to be a threat. And I'm like, they're just growing mushrooms on you. I mean,
Yeah,
that would be disturbing in a way to have a literal mushroom just grow on your skin. It would be mildly annoying, but kind of just, I don't know. It's like, what kind of threat's that going to be? But then when Tokiyami started choking, I went, oh,
yeah, because the
that's how you
mushrooms and
do
stuff
it.
like they seem to be like be annoying, but that was all. But yeah, if you like block their windpipe or something like that, then yeah, that can kill people easily.
Oh yeah, and then that's when I was kind of like, okay, I guess I won't take Mushroom Girl so lightly next time.
Yeah,
Freaking, let's see, on team on the one B team, class 1B, you had the Mushroom Girl, you had the leader who, in my opinion, kind of reminds me of Miss Marvel, who she can grow her hands really big just like that, and she kind of has that same like look with the I guess you can call them like the mask over her face. I'm pretty sure
there we have her on screen now.
it's very inspiring to Miss Marvel, I think, but I could
I
be
could see
wrong.
that too. I think it's also interesting how based on her ability, you think she'd just be the brute force character, but she's also their strategist.
She's really smart and thinks things
Yeah,
ahead. There was the guy who I knew he
the yeah, the guy who can make like manga sound effects come to life.
right, and it's just literal words just getting shot out of his face.
Yeah, and it's like the words, and it's also the effect like the words have. Like if he shouts "stamp," then like gets wet all around those
That's
words.
right. That's right. So yeah, so not only do yeah, the word shoot out, but it can have a huge effect of the world around, which is very, very interesting.
Yeah, that's a very creative power.
Mhm. And then we had the final guy, which was I forget his name, but he
The dark
basically
guy,
yeah, he just basically kinda, like, phased into the shadows. And
right?
yeah, yeah, I thought that was kinda neat where him and Tokiyami just kinda had this, like, standoff, whereas he kept repeating the same thing, saying that they both have a destiny, and
Uh huh.
it wasn't even a real thing, he was just doing that just to mess with him.
Yeah, it's interesting how they like use that as like to trap him, and so that was really clever. I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I thought overall these 2 episodes, I mean, I feel like this is what the whole season is gonna be, unfortunately, and unless something, like, really big happens, but
Yeah,
for
and
for
there are fine episodes, but they're also like kind of boring because like there's nothing beyond what we see on screen going on,
not really.
or at least very little. Because it's like it is what it is. Cool fights, but that's all, and that doesn't get me too excited.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nothing but showcasing these characters and seeing what they can do.
Yeah,
I still think 1B is gonna come into the equation sometime whenever there's going to be, I don't know, say just some villain
yeah.
to pop up,
The
and
next
then
villain attack, maybe.
yeah, and then they're just gonna find a way to work together, and then all of a sudden they're gonna become best of friends. Because if you've noticed, whenever you have the spectators just watching, you have a mix of 1A and 1B. Either they're kind of standoffish, or some of them are real friendly and they'll just talk to one another, which
Yeah,
is
seems like
interesting.
decent camaraderie between the two of them, which is nice to see. But
Hmm.
yeah, like the only importance this seems to have is like introducing 1B and setting up those relationships.
Yeah, that's really the only thing I can think of. Other than showing off the powers, it's gonna show I guess just show the camaraderie and maybe
Yeah.
even show the strength and weaknesses of both 1A and 1B and how they can kind of work together because we have I don't even know her name. It was like it was it Kendo, the one who grows her hands really big.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. She I think she's gonna have a big part because if she's real intelligent, real she's the reason
Yeah.
why 1B sticks together instead of that annoying guy that just is brags all the time.
Yeah, and I do like her as a character, and hopefully we get like more focus with her because she's interesting.
Mhm.
And it
Yeah,
was interesting seeing or what's the hawk guy?
I think his name's just Hawks.
Tokiomi. No, Tokiomi and
Oh,
his relationship with Hawks and like through the internships there. I thought that was
yeah.
interesting, and that developed a Tokiomi and showing how he's grown throughout the series, even though we didn't really see it.
Yeah, yeah, I that is true. We didn't really I thought that was kind of neat too. Like to me other than Tokiyami showing off his badassery, like I think that was the other best part of these whole episodes was just how he felt like he wasted his time just interning with Hawks cuz I mean, who
Yeah.
would feel good about that, You spend a whole week with somebody and all you get is just maybe you see him once and he just talks to you about, "Hey, what happened to you guys during
Yeah.
that incident?" and then just pieces out. I'd be pissed
Yeah,
too.
it was interesting with his one line saying, "Don't look down on me just because you're the number 2 hero."
Right.
And that
Right,
just, like,
exactly.
shows both their mindsets to a point. But then in the end, Hawks was able to, like, push Tokiomi forward, so it wasn't a complete waste. And I'm also wondering if the reason Hawks is so interested in that is because he's trying to infiltrate the League of Villains.
Yeah,
So in a way that, like, ties that back together, maybe.
I think you're on to something. I think it has something to do with that because if he finds out what happened that day as far as like the Nomus and all the different villains, what better way to I guess get comfortable with them
Yeah.
and find their weaknesses and exploit them. But
Yeah, so that might be the way, like, they are doing a roundabout way to tie it together.
what do you think of the class 1B instructor, how he had the extremely biased commentary? And class
I love
1A
how
kept saying, "Stop being so biased."
I feel like I should have screenshot that to use it later on.
Right, right, so that you could use it for a KOA podcast or something.
Oh, oh, yes, perfect.
Stop being so biased. Nani? We're not talking on bias. Come on now.
Yeah, I was like, send that to see.
Yeah. Oh, that was so freaking funny. I just loved how every time it's like the gloriousness of 1B and 1A.
Yeah,
Acid Girl is the one holding up the sign, then the rest of the class just hold up like a banner and they just say, "Stop."
stop being biased.
Stop being biased. Oh,
It was fun.
yeah, it's
The
fun.
fun character personalities do like add a lot to the show and make it less boring than the season would otherwise be.
True. True. I definitely think when it comes to My Hero, their strengths are definitely their characters and their
Right.
interactions with the characters. Because some shows you could have like really cool ideals and really neat plots and just story, but the characters just could just flat out suck. So I'm so glad that the characters in this show never, even with these, I guess you can call them filler arcs. At least I feel like it's filler now. It it keeps me entertained, though there's no, I guess, plot being pushed through.
Yeah,
It's
there's not
just
really any.
oh, my neck. I just popped it.
Yeah,
That
well, My Hero as a whole isn't like known for its great story, but like the characters are able to like carry everything else so that when it does have a good story can really shine. And when it doesn't, it's still fun.
yeah, yeah, it definitely showcases their strengths and what they've learned, especially Momo pulling a cannon out of her
Yeah,
chest,
and
so to
not just to use
speak.
it as a weapon, but to use it to give items and equipment to the other characters.
Yeah, it was a gift bag from
Yes.
she crafted a gift bag and shot it over. That was so funny.
Yeah, again, it's an interesting use of her quirk because she can create items. So instead of just weapons, why not create items to help the other characters?
Totally, totally makes sense. And then she basically she kind of sacrificed herself to kind of latch
Yeah,
on to Kendo and keep her from going far. I mean, yeah, it was a risk, and she's
yeah,
at that point just hoping that Tokiyami and the rest could pull it off, but
yeah. It also
ultimately the mushroom took
also
him
shows
down.
her like lack of confidence too. Like she doesn't think she can do anything else, so she'd rather sacrifice herself for the others.
Yeah, and then she remembered what she remembered what old Todoroki said.
Yeah.
He was just like, "I voted for you." I think Momo has a thing for Todoroki now. Todoroki
I
doesn't
could
even
see that.
care about love or anything. He's just all about getting
Yeah.
stronger. And Momo's
Well,
like, "How you doing?"
yeah, and he does respect her definitely.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's an interesting dynamic. I hope they like develop that relationship more.
yeah. We shall see. But I guess those were the main real points from the past two episodes. The next episode seems like it's gonna be Todoroki again, and we have Ida, uh, the lion guy, and the guy with all the arms, and they're going to be fighting.
It should be an interesting one
That's
because like
that.
Todoroki is one of my favorites. So seeing him and Ida,
Yeah, yeah. Ida is going to be. He's going to be awesome just because he's a great team player. He's one of those. If you tell him to jump, he'll say how high.
yeah, like how much he like will contribute to all the other characters.
Yeah, and Todoroki, well, it's freaking Todoroki, so he's probably gonna be the number one person that they're gonna try to take out next episode. You know, Class One
Yeah,
B.
and like Todoroki is definitely the strongest of the class,
Ab-
probably.
Absolutely, him and Bakugo are some of the
Yeah,
strongest characters.
I feel like Todoroki is probably stronger if he fully uses his powers.
Right, right. Because at that festival, when it was basically those two in a standoff, well,
Yeah.
not in the finals, I should say. Todoroki didn't even use his full power, and Bakugo kind of won that by he won by default, and Bakugo was even pissed that he won.
Oh yes. And one thing I did like about this episode is, despite the fact that Class One A lost, they were still like had a moment of triumph by able to show how much they have grown and become more powerful.
Oh, absolutely,
So I
absolutely,
think that was cool to see. And I like it when the battles are not so simple as who wins and who loses, but there's like more nuance to that.
yeah. So maybe there's more than what we think there is. Maybe it's more to see just how these characters have grown because, um, freaking All Might, he uh he said that it's been a year since they started, and I'm thinking, damn, 5 seasons, and it's only been a year into the high school, and now they're probably maybe this season they're gonna start a fresh new year, and they're gonna be second years, yeah, second years at that
Oh,
point.
yeah, I feel like after the end of the season, that would make sense. So I don't know, like if you have, because I feel like after this train arc, there'll probably be like a more serious one, and maybe that'll
Right,
be how they close out the first year of their school.
right. I think that's what's gonna happen. That to me makes sense. Then after that, I don't know, they'll probably look older, be more
Yeah.
advanced, and then they'll be off doing their own thing. Cray cray. Was there any final thoughts? I know I kind of went through that real quick, but it felt like even though there was these two episodes, it was literally two episodes. It felt like it was
Yeah.
just one giant episode.
Yeah, and there wasn't, like, too much interesting to talk about, like, we covered the basics, but that's, like, all there is.
Yeah, there wasn't like I can't really think of anything. Like there wasn't anything like no side stories anyway. Not any that I saw like happening in
Yeah.
between. So other than that, yeah, pretty solid, pretty entertaining. I'm looking forward to seeing what the next episode's going to be. If it's going to be the same kind of 2 episode arc, I'll
Yeah,
probably
we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe we'll come back in 2 weeks. Maybe we'll do 1 week. We'll have to wait and see. But
Maybe we'll do 12 episodes next week.
right, we'll
I don't know
just
how.
we'll just binge it and wait 2 months.
No, we do 12 episodes next week in particular.
Oh, I gotcha.
I don't
Gotcha,
know how that
gotcha.
would work, but let's do it.
We just go into the future and come back. It's like this show's gonna get amazing, y'all. We're gonna spoil everything.
Yep, we went into the future and watched the episodes before they came out.
Crazy. Well, Rising, uh, what you got going on your channel?
Uh, Recovering from the sleep deprivation from last week.
Fair enough. Okay. Well then,
But yes, I will be doing streams next week. Possibly jump with a fundraiser for some friends' medical expenses. So go check that
oh,
out.
oh, that's really nice. Yeah, everyone check out Rising Sun Reviews channel. I have it linked in the description down below. He's a good friend of mine. He's been since God, 2004.
2014,
Yeah, so that's
I think.
7 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 7 years. Go ahead, check him out. He's got future streams coming. He'll be back on this show next week, maybe if not
Yes.
2. And until then, I guess we'll see everyone out there later.
Yes. Thank you for stopping by, and we'll talk to you next.